So this is gonna be DMR and SR weapon tier list after the DMR rework. And then you see this. How about say read the DMRs? Okay, you go down. Why changes needed? Looking ahead, and boom! DMR damage has been reduced by approximately 12%. And the rate of fire has been reduced by 15. Okay, so let's get into it. This is the stats chart that I made that I'm gonna use for reference for the rankings. These are just the statistical, values after the rework. And then I'll go and talk about like all the guns and how I think they should be ranked. Okay, so starting off, I'm not gonna go over them. They're the care package weapons. They're really good for a reason. The MK14 has the highest single fire damage. Is time to kill is really fast because it has an automatic version. The EMR just like it does a lot of damage, and the EWM also does a lot of damage. Yeah, so now get into like the more commonly used guns. So in the S tier, we have the MK12, the SKS, the Dragunov, the SR, and the Me. So in all the guns in the S tier, the only one that didn't get affected for the rate of fire was the Dragunov, because it was already really slow. But the damage did get reduced by around like 12%. So why is the MK12 still the best gun? Well, even after the reduced rate of fire and the nerf damage, it's still one of the most consistent and relatively high damage in TTK guns there are out there. So, I mean, before the rework, it was one of the best EMRs, and now I still think it still is. But, above, I put two question marks. These are, I'm going to say for the end of the video, these are two situational guns that could be better than, a lot of these DMRs. And then moving on to the SKS. So, surprisingly, I don't think a lot of people run the SKS, probably because the handling feels off and so it's not really shown. But referencing the stat chart, you can see after the nerfs, the SKS is actually like one of the faster um time to kill weapons out there, so maybe consider using it. And it has 4 attachment slots, which means its handling is actually really nice. The Dragunov, that's it's the only gun that hasn't changed its feel after the rework because its rate of fire was so slow that it couldn't have gotten nerfed anymore. So, most of these guns will feel like a slightly faster version of the Dragunov weapon. So if you already love playing the Dragunov because it used to be able to one shot level 2 helmet at around like 100, 200 meters before the damage fall off, you can keep on using because, the handling is still the same. It's just its damage got nerfed a tiny bit. And SLR is up here because even after the rate of fire nerfs, because the SR, unlike the MP12 and the Mini, which were like really fast shooting DMRs that you can spam, the SLR you can also spam it, but like the single shot fire was relatively slower, so even after rate of fire nerfs, it still kind of feels the same, just slightly slower, so it's up here. And the Mini, after the nerfs of the rate of fire and damage, it does the same damage as I think an M416. So it's just like tickling you from afar. But it's still really good, but it's not like I would rather run like a Dragunov or an MK12 after the rework. So moving on to the A tier. There's only 2 guns in the A tier, and we have the QBU and the VSS. I'm pretty sure the VSS got nerfed again, so keep in mind of that. And the VSS is a really fast time to go because it also has automatic, and a feature of it is it has an inbuilt built-in silencer. But the bad thing about it is you cannot change the scope. I personally think the bullet drop off is kind of high. So when you're shooting from afar, you have to lead really high up. And it's hard to lead because you don't have like an E-type scope. You have the VSS scope to play with. But it's really good if you're just like Gilly laying on the ground, just annoying people. The QVU is overall a really good gun, but only spawns in the reinforcement, so you won't really be able to get to play it, so I wouldn't really recommend it. Okay, so going on to the B tier is the SR. So why do I not think the SRs are meta? Well, I showed even after the nerfs and in complet and casual, SRs, the only good thing about them is for dueling people because they offer high damage and a one-shot knock on level 2 helmets. So therefore, when you're like sniping another person and they're shooting at you, you can knock them really fast. But for anchoring and holding positions, SRs are really bad because you have a one shot and after that you have to like reload, so the rate of fire is really low. So you can't really hold someone who's crossing a road unless you're like a god and can just headshot them instantly. So I would not recommend any of these. Honestly, and the Win 94 is just like it's a meme gun. It's alright. Don't use it. It's not that it's not good. And to know the only difference is for the M24 and the 98K and the Noggin, I think. So the 90K and the Noggin, they have higher damage than the M24, but I'm pretty sure the M24 the redeem quality is its bullet drop is less, so it shoots farther in a straight line. Alright, so now we're moving to the best two hidden guns I put out last. So why did I even put these two guns on here? They're not DMRs or SR. But if you think about it, they're ARs, eh? But you can put it 8 times on both of them, and they both have single fire and burst. So why are these two guns I think are gonna be meta for DMR and SRs? Well, because like these two guns are only meta situationally. They're only meta between around 0 to 300 meters when someone is anchoring or holding a position. Because these are the only two guns that did not get their rate of fire nerfs because they're not DMRs, SRs, there's ERs. So being able to hold with single fire and you can spam and having an 8 times scope across is really good. So I personally would recommend these two guns because most fights, if you think about it, they usually happen between like 300 meters. Unless you're just like annoying people at like 500 or 600 weight. But these guns are really good for end zones and mid range. So yeah, that is what I'm gonna be, or what I think is gonna be my weapon tier list. Maybe other YouTubers will say different, but this is what I think. And if you have any questions, leave them down below and I'll probably answer them. So yeah, thanks for watching and yeah, see ya.